YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Nexx, man. I'm back again with another video for the TI community. Now, this video right here, it is very important, okay? Super important. But before we get into that, I just want to address something real quick. For everybody who joined me on the Out and About live stream last night, man, peace and blessings to you, man. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I did say that I was going to come back with another video. Actually, I said I was gonna come back out with another stream. I came back home, and man, that feels good to say that. But I came back to my, my crib, charged my phone. I think I talked to a couple people, got a bite to eat, and next thing you know, I was out. Guys, I'm sleeping at night. You know, it's amazing. Like I'm actually getting sleep at night, and I'm just so grateful to the Most High and man, for everybody's prayers. But yeah, and I said I was gonna do another live stream. So guess what, guys? I'll be live streaming today, a little bit later on today. So, you know, I like to come through with my word, you know, and your word is your bond. So, all right, so let's get into it. So this video right here, this video is very important, man, because I need everybody to understand a few things about, my experience and what I have learned along my journey about this, this thing we know is organized stalking, and all the targeted individuals. We go through this, okay, and it's the fear. It's the fear, guys. I went through it, last summer when I first, figured out what was going on. I was so like, if you guys have been following my story, this has been an ongoing thing with me since I, was born. I was able to think back to a lot of situations in my life, and everything made sense when I figured out what was happening. And so last year, fast forward to last year, or rewind, let's rewind time to last year, 2017. I found out, what was happening, why people was following me, why stuff was happening on my jobs, why, right? I got the answers, all right? So in that moment, I was so afraid. I'm gonna keep it 3,000 with you guys. Like, I was terrified. I didn't know, I was all alone. I was isolated, and I didn't know what to do. A lot of crazy, weird things happened even after I found out. It kind of revved up because, in a sense, I felt validated because, even with the V2K thing, when that first started happening, like back in, I would say 2010, maybe, 2011, that started to happen. And I thought I was crazy. It sent me to the hospital. I had some situations with them, the medication, all that crap, psychologists. It didn't help, it didn't help me at all. But I thought I was crazy, I thought I was crazy. The doctor looked at me in my eyes and said, "You're psychotic," you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what? Like, whoa, like, it was a moment for me, So when I figured out this was a real thing, and I felt validated, like, okay, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. This is happening to me, not only to me, but it's happening to people all over the world, okay? And shout out to Targeted Must End. He's a TI in South Africa. The first TI videos that I watched, and just totally related to everything this guy had to say. But one thing, that what we're speaking on today, this video, fear, what it is, what is happening, and what they're doing, with this organized stalking thing, is that they are actually weaponizing fear, okay? They're weaponizing fear, guys. And what we need to do, we need to understand what fear is, right? What fear is. Fear, right? False evidence appearing real. That's what fear is. I mean, I know you guys have all heard this saying, "There's nothing to fear but fear itself," okay? Once we snap out of the fear, right? I'm going to tell you, it's just blessings that come from that, because we have to understand that fear is from the enemy. Fear is from Satan's. Fear is from the dark side, okay? And when we feel fear, like, okay, we feel fear. It's going to be times that we feel fear. It's the difference between feeling fear, right? Be transparent when that happens. Like, let it pass through you. And living in fear. That's two different things. And when you're living in fear, guys, when you are living in fear, I'm going to tell you what's happening there. The Most High does not call us to live in fear, okay? When we live in fear, we're losing our connection to God. We have to have faith in God, even in those moments where, in those fearful moments, we have to have faith in Him that He will carry us through any situation. And we're going to be all right, and we're going to make it, because God loves us. God loves you, right? And sometimes He tests us, right? Sometimes He throws tests our way to see how we're going to react, even though He knows, but to see how we are going to react. Are we going to have faith in Him, or are we going to cower and hide and live in fear? One thing that you guys need to understand is fear, false evidence appearing real. And they weaponize fear in this targeted individual thing, and this organized stalking thing. They use it against us. And the more fear we feel, the stronger not only the stronger they get, but you'll see your targeting go up and up and up. Okay? The more fear we feel, the more, oh my God, they're over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they want. That's what they want. That's what the enemy wants. That's what the devil wants. He wants you to be in fear, because you're not your best self when you're when you're living in fear. Okay? I got some clips that I want to show you guys. This is very important. I need you guys to really just strap on your seatbelts, man, and pay close attention to everything that is said in these clips, and I will be back to finish this thing out, man. And this is just part one, because I got to keep this thing going, because so many of us, me included, I went through it. Last year when I found out that I was a TI, I was so isolated and so afraid that I hardly came out of the house, and I spent that whole summer alone in fear. And I know what it did to me. And only thing that happened in that summer was my targeting went up and up and up. But at the same time, I understood what was happening, but I was still afraid. And what I did in that moment, I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I kept praying. I kept believing for God to remove that fear. But I'm going to get into that after these clips. I want y'all to take a look at these clips and understand what fear is, so you can let it go. All right, we're going to let this fear go. All of us, we're going to let this fear go, and we're going to take things to the next level. Check these clips out.
You can either live your dreams or live your fears. And I think the majority of people actually are not living their dreams, but are living their fears. So I want to ask you a question. What are your fears? What are you afraid of? What are you scared of? Because we all have fears, don't we? We all have something that's blocking us, that's holding us back. And as we begin to look at life, what we realize is that the reason that most people are not living out their true potential, are not doing all of the things that they would really like to do, is because of fear. Some people call fear false evidence or expectations appearing real.
Some people worry too much because they are so afraid that something bad will happen. Remember this: fear is a false evidence appearing real. Do not let your fear decide your future. Do not let your fear control you from the habit of drifting. If your fear was based only in our society, like criticism, that is not a fear. That is just the state of your thoughts. That fear was only planted to your thoughts. Remember that you cannot experience a true reality if you live in your fear. Wake up and live the reality and desire you prefer. Become a conscious creator, because you are one consciousness. What you call subconsciousness and unconsciousness are simply convenient terms for things you do not want to face. But if you understand the difference between the fear for our protection that comes from our intuition, and the fear that only planted to us, there is absolutely no reason to fear anything unknown. We are all meant to shine, as children do. When we are afraid, we pull back from life. When we are in love, we open to all that life has to offer with passion, excitement, and acceptance. We need to learn to love ourselves first, in all our glory and our imperfections. If we cannot love ourselves, we cannot fully open to our ability to love others or our potential to create, experience, and discover. Because love is your powerful driving force to overcome your fear that only planted to your thoughts. People will always have negative things to say about you, no matter how much good you do. So just keep going, because the tragedy of life is not death, but what we let die inside of us while we live.
Fear is not real. The only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist. That is near insanity, Qatar. Now, do not misunderstand me. Danger is very real, but fear is a choice. We are all telling ourselves a story.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.
So deciding as you look at your life, as you look into the future and say, what fears am I holding on to? What fears that I'm allowing to imprison me? That's keeping me from breaking out. That's keeping me from living up to my true potential. That's keeping me from really being happy. That's keeping me from having a sense of adventure and excitement in my life. What's keeping me from controlling my destiny? What fears that I'm giving that permission to? Notice what I said. That we must give our permission to fear to immobilize us. Because whatever discomfort you experience, whatever challenges or difficulty that it is, you got to handle it. Got to go up in there and wrestle with it. Will it be easy? No. Will it be challenging? Yes. But that's just what you must go through in order to get where you want to go. And guess what? You are strong enough to do it. You're strong enough, and your life is worth whatever you have to go through.
You've probably heard the adage that fear is false evidence appearing real. But have you internalized that in your body? I've had so many people writing to me this week, since we just started the Anxiety Solution program, telling me about all the fear they're in, the anxiety that's overwhelming, the situations that are putting them in fear. And it really is false evidence appearing real. My daughter is 3, and she came home from school today and told me a story. This boy was chasing me. They were chasing me today, and they wouldn't stop chasing me. And I said, you know what? The best way to get someone to stop chasing you is to stop running. And she started laughing, and she said, yes, I'm gonna stop running. Because it's a trick that this thing, whether it's, oh my gosh, I'm about to run out of money, or oh my gosh, my health is terrible and I'm getting worse, or whatever the fear may be telling you, if you remember that it's false evidence appearing real, and instead of reacting, fighting it, struggling against it, or running from it, which so many of us have been doing, you relax your body, and you breathe more deeply. When you relax your body and deepen your breathing, you come out of fight or flight, you open up new brain patterns that you didn't have access to before. And very often, the scary monster that's chasing you dissolves, or solutions occur to you that weren't there before, simply because you got into a new chemistry and brain state. So remember, next time you are so sure that you've got to fight or run from something or get into attack mode and mobilize all your resources to prevent something from happening, it's false evidence appearing real. You can let that dissolve, and you will easily be guided into a new action that will reverse the situation, or it will dissolve altogether. I'm looking forward to hearing how this works for you. It's Dr. Kim D from drkimd.com, and share this with people that you love.
Dr. Blanton, Smiley Blanton, who is a colleague of Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. What he said about fear, he said, fear is the most subtle and destructive of all human diseases. Ladies and gentlemen, fear kills dreams. Fear kills hope. Fear put people in the hospital. Fear can age you. Fear, ladies and gentlemen, can hold you back from doing something that you know within yourself that you're capable of doing, but it will paralyze you. And it seemed like you're in a hypnotic spell. And I ask you a question, what is the benefit? What's the benefit of allowing fear to hold you back? What's the benefit of giving up on yourself, of not stepping out on life and taking life on? What is the benefit for you? What's the plus in that? It's one of the things I had to ask myself. So I didn't want to make any mistakes. I wanted everybody to like me. I wanted to be perfect the first time I did something. It's not going to happen. You're going to make some mistakes. You're going to hurt some folks' feelings. You're going to create some enemies whenever you decide that you want to begin to take life on. You've got to ask yourself, how long am I going to allow this to hold me back? I like what Zig Ziglar says. He said, fear is false evidence appearing real. That is an illusion that we create in our mind. It is a state of mind that can be changed. So let's look at how we can begin to take some steps to restructure that fear.
All right, man. What do you guys think about those clips, man? What do you think about those clips, man? Type me a comment, leave it in the comment section, man. What I want to say here in closing, knowing is half the battle, right? For everybody who came up in the 80s, who used to watch G.I. Joe, that was a real jewel that they dropped. Knowing is only half the battle, right? Because I see a lot of these, believers, Christians, and guys, I love all of you guys, and I'm not trying to judge anybody here, but I'm just sharing my experience and sharing what I've seen. A lot of these, believers are, God this and Lord and this and that, but they're still living in fear. And I need you to understand, if you're living in fear, no matter how many scriptures you read, no matter how much you pray, no matter how strong, ask yourself, how strong is your faith if you're living in fear? I've spoke to some TIs who are, who are afraid, and I know how they feel because I felt that fear before too, but I let it go. It's just like this napkin right here. Let's say this crinkled up, dirty napkin is fear, right? And this is people right here. They're holding on to the fear. They're just holding on to it, right? Just holding on to it, not knowing what it's doing to them, not knowing what it's doing to their connection to God, not knowing that that same fear is killing them, is making their targeting go up, right? Everything, all blessings that the Most High has for you, you won't see those blessings come through as long as you're doing this. You're holding on to the fear, right? And some might say it's easier said than done, but I went through it, so I'm speaking from experience. I was once you holding on to this fear, tight with a grip. You know what I'm saying? Like just gripping it. All we have to do is let go of the fear. Just 1, 2, 3. Make a decision. Decide. Let go. Let go of the fear. And it's gone. Take back your life, guys. Take it back. You can do it. Right? The Most High, this is what He wants. He doesn't want us cowering, afraid to show our face, afraid to go outside, afraid of anything. We should fear no man but God. Right? Look at this. This is fear. Look at this. Fear. Let it go. That's all we got to do. That's all you have to do. And it seems like a hard thing to do at first. I know. I walked that walk, and I'm talking that talk because I really went through it. I went through it. I let go of the fear. Now, I'm not saying that there are not going to be moments in my life when, you know, scary situations happen or danger happens, but I don't have to live in fear. I can be transparent in that. I can let that pass right through me, you know, and you can do the same thing. You can let it pass right through you. Understand, there is no fear in faith. Fear, and this program is fear-based. It's fear-based. It is. And they're weaponizing it, fear, and they're turning our own fears against us. You know, I'm not saying that what you're going through is not happening. A lot of other people in the TI community say that, oh, that's not happening. No, I'm not saying that because I know it happens. I went through it. What I am saying is you don't have to live in fear. You don't have to be afraid. You know, with each day that passes and you allow the fear to take over and take your life, they win. They win in those situations. And we can't get time back. You know, we can't get a day back. These days are precious days. We don't know how much time we have left on this earth. You know what I'm saying? And I need you guys to get this, man, because you guys are amazing, special people with gifts locked on the inside. That fear is imprisoning these spiritual gifts, these gifts that the Lord has given you. You know, I don't know what everybody's calling is, but I know each and every one of you guys who have been targeted, the real TIs, are amazing people. And there is no fear in faith. You know, do not be afraid to come out of your house. Do not be afraid to go talk to people that's on the street, or to say hello, or to go grocery shopping, or and it's just so sad. Like, I know so many TIs, you know, who have been in imprisonment to this fear for years. And those precious years, you are not going to get back. I need you guys to really understand that and get that, and understand that fear is false evidence appearing real. Okay? Please get that, man. Understand what fear is, what it's doing to you. You know, and yes, the more fear you feel, the stronger they get. Not only that, they feed off of that negative energy, right? So look at this fear right here. Let it go. Let it go. Be the change, you know. And if you're having a hard time doing it, pray just like I did. Get on your knees and pray and ask God to take it. And He will. I promise you, He will. Believe, right? Believe He will. Believe, and He will take it. I promise you. Okay? It's your boy Nexx, man. I'm going to see you guys again on the next video. I hope this video changes your perception, your outlook on life and fear. Because once you let this go, sky's the limit, you know. And you opening the door for the light to shine. You opening the door for God to move in your life every day. I love you guys. I love you. That's why I'm telling you this, man, because I love you guys. God loves you. I'm going to see you guys on the next one, man. Peace.